Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Long time no talk, it feels like. My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to Boulder Talk Radio. Tonight is September 4th, 2020, currently 9 p.m. on the West Coast. Well, 9:03 p.m. I'm a few minutes behind. Blame Chrome for deciding that it wanted to not work. They crapped out on me right as I was getting ready to go here. Right as I was getting ready to go live. It's all like, nope, you don't get that, sir. You, sir, have to restart everything. But anyway, tonight's going to be a quick night. I've got a long weekend ahead of me, but I've been very busy all week with the census stuff. So that's why I haven't been on. It's just been really interesting days, really long days, to be honest with you. And I've just been exhausted. So I took today off and thought I would go on for a little bit. Thought we'd have a little bit of conversation, see what's going down with everybody tonight. And of course, see what the night brings us here. All right. So we've already got one person already. Wow. Anthony, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. I'm just exhausted, dude.
My birthday was this past Wednesday.
Oh, happy birthday. What'd you do?
I'm 37. I got me a Blu-ray DVD player, and I got me Mortal Kombat, Scorpion's Revenge.
Nice. Have you watched Mortal Kombat yet?
Not yet. Today I was watching Officer and the Gentleman.
Kind of a different movie, sure. You know, yep. That's an old, that's Richard Gere, isn't it? Officer and a Gentleman.
Yep, Deborah Winger.
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, that's an oldie. I've seen it, but it's been, dude, long time since I've seen that movie.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, I know the ending has been parodied on The Simpsons before. That was pretty
Family
funny.
Guy.
Oh, and Family Guy. Okay.
Yep.
So other than that, what'd you end up doing for your birthday?
Well, we went out to get chicken. Lewis went out to get chicken. I just stayed home. We went out to go to Walmart. Wall to wall people. OMG. And Best Buy. I haven't been in a Best Buy in a long time.
And the Best Buy was open?
The Best Buy was open, yeah. Wow. And it had tons of Blu-rays.
That's good, dude. I really want to go back to a Best Buy and just walk around.
OMG, you know what I mean? They got a lot of DVDs. I was rewatching Black Panther the other day with my mom.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to go back. A lot of people have been rewatching Black Panther since last weekend. That's for certain. I haven't rewatched it yet, though.
Black Panther is such a good movie, you know.
Yeah, I liked it. I picked up Mulan today. I just haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it. Everyone's telling me that it's crap. Like, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where everyone's telling me that it's garbage. It's hot garbage. It's raging hot garbage.
Well, I got 50 something subscribers on my YouTube channel so far.
Nice. I tried finding it, but the link you post, it was said 404 not found.
Sorry about that.
So I can't find it, but
go on the video. It said trailer reaction to the Batman. All you got to do is do that.
Okay. And I'll find it on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So do you have any Labor Day plans?
Labor Day plans. I might be working with Lewis, you know, in the scrap, you know. My uncle saw Tenet.
Oh, nice.
He didn't like it, unfortunately. I hope they open the theaters back up by Wonder Woman.
I think they probably will in many cases. I know Jersey just got allowed.
I know.
To open up theaters.
I'm so pissed off about that, Matt. You know, but look for the video, my trailer reaction to the Batman.
Okay, yeah, I'll go and I'll take a look at that one. I didn't do a full reaction to that. Like, I know I did it. I was live streaming when it was on, and I'm sure that would count as a reaction. But I was so exhausted by the end of DC Fandom Day 1 that I just didn't post the video. I was like, this is a crap reaction.
And I just did a trailer reaction to No Time to Die.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I like that trailer. I just watched it yesterday. I really enjoyed that trailer.
Look, Rami Malek is the bad guy. James Bond, this is Daniel Craig's final time.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think it's going to satisfy everyone because there's a lot of people out there that are kind of banking on it to fail right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing that mostly because I think like there's like this rumor that Bond has a kid in the movie, or like because it has female characters, like it's now considered woke.
Wow,
You know, like
wow. But
because
I hope Lewis wants to go see that.
well, yeah, I think a lot of people want to go see it. I really want to go see it.
But Tenet is
So,
not that good. My uncle saw it. He said it's not that good.
um,
And I'm
I,
coming out with a memoir in 2022.
oh, okay. So you're now are you, so you're not working on the script right now. You're working on the memoir.
Memoir. The computer is coming up for Christmas because the prices will go down by Christmas
Yeah, yeah. Black Friday would be a good time to get a cheap computer.
with a
If you,
printer. You know,
yeah, yeah.
Tenet's not that good of a movie. Tenet.
Well, I hear it's one of those ones that it requires multiple viewings to kind of get everything that's going on. So I
But
haven't.
I'm doing good. You know, I'm losing weight, COVID. You know, everything. It's been an interesting summer for us.
That's good, man. That's good. This last week for me has not been a good eating week because I've been uh traveling, you
Wow,
know.
nice.
Well, it's just doing like the census, right? So I've been traveling to like all over this region.
I've been
And
doing good on my YouTube channel. I post clips of everything. You know, I've been very busy, Matt. Celebrating my 37th birthday,
that's
eating
good,
some
man.
ice cream. I had some ice cream cakes from Carvel.
That's good. That's really good. I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
to hear it, Anthony. I'm glad to hear it. I'm, having a good birthday is hard right now. So
Yeah, I
it's good that
know.
you're able to find some stuff to enjoy. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, just enjoy 37. I'm 38. So it was a good year, I guess. It's enjoy it. It's like the first year of your late 30s, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like the mid to late, it's like the last year of your mid 30s, really.
And I'm reading Spider-Man. I'm reading Spider-Man 62 to 64. The first ever adventures of Spider-Man.
Nice. Nice. I think that should be a good one to read. I need to read some comics. I'm behind on everything. So
But Spider-Man 62 to 64 is a good read, you know, back the Epic collection.
yeah, that's those I get lost in a lot of those comics. The one I'm waiting for right now is I'm waiting for the TMNT, the Last Ronin, New
Yep,
Turtles. That
yep.
one's gonna be pretty good. People over on the $3 theater side of things, they've asked that, like, some of them have wanted to like do comic discussions. So like I might
Interesting.
do something with that. Like I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of I'm doing, like,
And G4's hiring. G4's hiring.
yeah, I don't think G4 would hire me.
Me neither. Me either. Because I know my cousin-in-law Blair. You know, me and him. You know, we never met technically, but I think somewhere down the line, me and Jessica are gonna meet.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Um
down the line.
well yeah, that's I don't know if Jessica's gonna go. I she's doing her own thing. She might, because I don't know if YouTube's working out well for her or not.
And she's married to Blair because Blair's the head of G4.
Oh, is she?
Blair,
Oh,
Blair.
sorry. I meant, is she as in Jessica? Okay,
Oh,
so
what?
the likelihood that Jessica Chobot will be on G4 is pretty high, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna meet her at some point. It's bound to happen.
Well, you got to get to LA.
Oh, that's a tough one. I want to
You,
go to California with my mom and my stepdad.
yeah, you gotta get out there and dude, you gotta do it, man. You gotta, if you wanna get to, if you want to meet these people, you have to basically go to where they are, right?
Come to
Like,
me. Come to me.
well, they're not going to come to you. Like, you got to go to them, and that
All
is
right.
unless you can go to the New York Comic Con or something, and then from there you might be able to go and see them. They
That'll be
might
in the
show
near
up.
future, probably to promote my book. You know.
Yeah, promote your book, definitely, man. Promote the book.
Mhm.
So for everyone here, while we wait for more people to come on in,
All right.
um, tell it. Okay, so Anthony, give everyone here the pitch. Sell them on your memoir. All right,
Well,
tell
my
them.
my
Tell them.
memoir is It's going to be based on me growing up in New York City in the 1980s and 90s. growing up as a teenager in the 2000s to the 2010s, and the currently right now, the rise of Anthony Chabot, how Anthony Chabot dealt with mental problems and everything, how he conquered it,
Okay, so I guess tell me like what is a specific story that's going to go in this? Like what is going to be maybe not the defining story, right? But like if you because you always got to have a hook to sell these things. So
Yeah.
like you say that you've Anthony Chabot, you've overcome mental illness. Like what was that like?
Well, it was like a nightmare. It was like a nightmare, Matt. It was like a nightmare.
Well, I guess I mean because you got to give me specifics because tell
Well,
me a story because this is where.
well, for example, this girl, I'm not gonna say her name, Matt. I'm not gonna say this trauma actress was pissed off at me, and I was going through illness, and I'm trying to redemption. It's a redemption story, Matt.
Okay, but I mean, like, but this is recent, right? Because I remember you telling me recently when you called in that you had kind of gotten into it um, with what's a woman trauma actress,
Yeah, yeah.
and this is who you're talking about.
No, it's somebody else, but I don't want to get into specifics right now.
Oh, I see. So I just have to ask the question then. So you have
Yeah.
you really do like trauma films is basically
Yes,
what I'm
I
getting out
do.
of
I'm
this.
trying to get this 4-part biopic made for the last 7 years.
Okay, and it's your biopic.
Yes.
Okay. And you want Lloyd Kaufman to produce it, or do you want him just to be in
Produce it.
it?
I want him to produce it, but I don't think he's not directing it, unfortunately. Somebody from Trauma will do it. Someone.
But well, trauma movies are generally more on the violent, side, the crazier side, the satirical side.
But they never done a dramatic movie before.
Well, yeah, but it's also not in their wheelhouse to do that. So, like, that's what I have to ask is like, how would you tailor your biopic to being like good for the trauma audience? Because really, they would only make the movie if they saw that there would be money to be made off of telling your story.
Maybe a Kickstarter, maybe. Who knows?
Well, what I
But
mean by that is like you still have to sell them something. You still have to
I
give them
will.
a hook. Like I know you're saying like it's my story. I've overcome mental illness, which is fantastic, and all these things. It's about being a kid in the 80s and 90s and growing up in the 2000s and 2010s. But what happened to you in those times? What stories can you tell that would be of interest to the audience? Because like everyone has a story, Anthony. Like everyone has something that they've done.
Well, I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life. I got a lot of people dying. My cousin just died last month. Everything. My grandparents, everything. Mother son relationship.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I mean, and that's all um that's definitely sad, by all straight, that's true. Death is terrible. But I mean but Anthony, like what I'm asking you specifically is like, you gotta if you're telling these stories, what is a story? What is one of these stories? What have you done that you feel would make a compelling story that somebody would want to read?
Mm. Like one time, I got kicked out of programs. I got kicked out of programs, and people have
Well,
to
what
emphasize
programs? What kind of program?
job training programs. I cried and my mom hugged me. That's the one of the scenes in my movie.
Okay, and that's great. The love of a mother is fantastic.
Mother son relationships is all about mother son relationships in the movie.
Okay, so and I'm assuming your mom has kind of been like your rock your
Yeah,
whole
my
life, right?
mom's in
Okay.
my rock. My mom and my stepdad.
Okay, so they're out there looking after you and they're making sure you're doing okay, which is great.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what did you do to or well, I don't want to say what did you do. I'm not trying to accuse you. What happened in this work program that got you booted?
Well, I don't want to get into specifics, Matt. I'm sorry.
But you got to put it in the book.
Okay. Well, this is one time that I was in this program and I yelled in the parking lot, and it got boot me out of program.
What did you yell in the parking lot?
I don't know, something I don't remember, Matt. It was just 10 years ago.
Well, okay, but I mean, if you're, I'm gonna press you on this a little bit because
Sure.
of everything. So, you're writing a biopic or a memoir of your life, which is a recounting of your experience, so an autobiography, and you want to tell this story about how you got kicked out of a program, work training program, because you yelled something in a parking lot a decade ago, so in 2010, but you can't recall what it was. So to the audience, like, the audience is going to want to know what, like, you can't just, you got to give specifics. You got to have, like,
I was going through a mental health crisis.
sure. No, I get that. I get that. And I'm not trying to disparage you for it or nothing.
Mhm.
I just feel personally, I kind of feel like you want to tell the story,
I
but
want to tell the story.
you also don't want to tell the story. And I
do, but let me tell you, I'm not going to give it away too much.
Well, I get that. I get that. You don't have to give it all away, but I'm asking for like one, if your whole life you're 37, that's a long time,
Mhm.
that's like, that's a very long time. And
Mhm.
that's over 4,000 days. So in the span of 4,000 days, something must have happened. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to, like,
It's just that the story is the Glendale mental health put me on some vitamin, some doctrine vitamin, something that wasn't allowed to, not supposed to take, Matt.
and
It
so,
was
okay. And so you had a reaction to it.
yeah, I had a reaction.
Okay. Now because I have to just probe and ask these questions.
Sure.
Did anyone get hurt, like physically?
No, luckily, no.
Okay. So there's been no one's been harmed, which is good.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming well, I would probably don't need to
No
ask a
one
follow
was
up.
harmed.
Okay. So, but then let me ask you this then.
Sure.
And this is what I ask myself all the time when I cover certain stories. I ask myself, like, well, I'll ask, what is it about this that makes you think that people want to hear it? And because a lot of stuff, there's a lot of mundane things in life, and not all of it's interesting. And if you're going to tell a story about whether it's part of your life or something that's happened to you, there's got to be a hook, something that makes it interesting, that the audience is going to want to know more. Because if you don't have that, then you're probably not going to end up getting published. So that's the thing. So I mean, like, like, have you ever gone on an adventure? You ever just like, you ever just taken off and gone to a different state? You ever just done any other thing like that?
Well, I went to Miami.
Did anything cool happen in Miami?
Yeah, I got me a Superman Man of Steel T-shirt.
Okay. Like, but like you didn't like battle cartel members, like that you stumbled across them like in a drug deal, and
I faced myself. I faced my evil self.
Okay, that's interesting. So what was your evil self?
That wanted to hurt the good in me. There's gonna be
Well,
a scene in that movie where he fights the evil Anthony.
but what made evil Anthony evil?
It just
Or
you know
what did evil Anthony do?
well he kind of messed up on opportunities that were presenting himself. He kind of messed it up. It's like the yin and the yang, the good and the evil.
Sure, I get that. I understand that. Um, I guess my question then is, like, I don't know why you'd call him then evil Anthony if it's just making mistakes.
Yeah, I don't know, but that'll be told. That'll be told in another day, Matt. That'll be
Okay.
told in another day. And thank you for the happy birthday shout outs. Thank you, everybody. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, the people like having you on, Anthony. I know you've got one guy, he's not here, usually coming later. He'll probably watch the replay of it. He's a big fan. But all right, man, I'm gonna let you go. I got
Thank you, Matt.
some people
Thanks
that
for
have
the
popped in.
question.
Sure, man, no problem. I'll talk to you later, Anthony. Have a good one, dude.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, thank you to Anthony for coming on in. We've got I'm gonna repost the link here. Welcome, Kevin the Collector. What's going on, man?
What's up, Matt? Have you seen
Not
all
too
the boys
much.
episodes yet?
I did. I watched them all last night. Yeah.
I watched them earlier too. I watched them at 12 in the morning. trying to stay awake. I finished both of them. I already read all the first omnibus, and going off of the comic, they referenced some people in the comic. That, man, my brain exploded when I watched it.
Yeah, no, it was solid. It was really solid. I really liked it. There are 3 episodes, right?
Yeah, there's 3 episodes.
Yeah, they actually released it early. They put it out around like 9 p.m.
Yeah, because I'm glad about that. Because I always hate Netflix because they're always doing that stuff where I want to watch it right now. I got to wait till like 7, 8 in the morning, and I'm glad they put it out early. All right, I need your opinion on this, and everybody in the chat. Homelander is now, if I won't spoil it, but Homelander is pretty much really, really mad now. Now, do you see the end of the show with him and Stormfront battling heads, or do you see somebody else taking Homelander's spot in a few seasons from now, like 5 or 6?
I don't think they're going to get rid of Homelander at all. I don't want to go too into it because it just dropped last night. Not everyone has had the chance to see it, and they may not know what we're talking about. So this is, maybe not the best place for that discussion. I did do reviews. I don't know if you saw. I did reviews of each of the episodes.
I watched a bit of the first one.
Yeah, so
I'm really hoping that they show somebody from the comic. I'm not going to say who it is, but I've read the omnibus. I want to see that one character in there.
I haven't read the comic, so I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the comic. If there is an interview I watched with Homelander, the actor, he mentioned something that they couldn't do on the show, and I can agree with his opinion on not going too far with the violence, because that comic differs a lot. It's more crazy than the show is, like violence wise. Like I think if I had to put like a rating, if it was made, I'm pretty sure it was made back in like 2006 when it came out originally. I'm pretty sure it would have gotten at least maybe like an NC-17 probably if it was ever made in a movie. That's how much brutality there is in there. But overall, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm surprised that they didn't or what is it? There's something I heard about an orgy scene and scene.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of that in the comic. Like
but there's like a pivotal orgy scene I think is happening in season 2. I think they talked about that a bit. Like I saw that in an interview, like at the end of last season, there was a question about it, and so that they might be bringing that in as a thing. Out of curiosity, do you have a fan on right now?
Yeah, I do. How's everyone? I just wanted to stop by and just say hello to everybody.
Sure. It's hard to hear you because the fan. That's why I asked.
Yeah. I'm working on a Resident Evil movie. I'm basing it off the game because they're making a TV show about it on Netflix, and they're going to ruin it. And I'm pretty sure me and everybody else can attest to just make it based off the game. I already did that too. I'm going to work with the game. I'm not going to take any liberties. I want to make this. I already know somebody else owns the rights, but I don't know. Give it a few years, couple $1,000 and own the rights to Resident Evil myself. Maybe I'll make it into a fan film, maybe.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, owning the rights to something like that is probably not going to happen. Capcom would all things considered, they'd be relatively daft to give it away. You know what I mean? It's not like it's it's not like it's anything that they don't make money off of. They make a lot of money off of it. So I would say you maybe want to look at it a bit different.
Yeah.
You may want to definitely like I don't know. I'd say maybe I think try something a bit different, I guess. But it's something to consider, something to consider.
I've been thinking about making the Reanimator movie a sequel to the third one. I've been brainstorming some ideas.
Well, I'll just tell you this, man. You probably have better luck writing something original than you would adapting something into a sequel.
Yeah.
Because there's all these rights that go along with everything. You've got the original story rights, whoever the author is. If it's been adapted by a studio, the studio has their rights to their original work. It's kind of like the Frank L. Baum Wizard of Oz books don't have the Ruby Red Slippers. And that's owned by MGM, which is why Disney, when they did Return to Oz, as well as Oz the Great and Powerful, there was no Ruby Red Slippers. So, there's all these rights that you have to watch out for, all these things that you have to do. And so I would say, in those kind of situations, your best bet probably would be to, maybe like not
Yeah.
like, like maybe like
Yeah.
not so much do that, I don't know. That's my particular take on it. I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah.
but
All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
all right, thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So, let's see here. I guess Safety Zoom here said I came here for the Boys season 2 talk. Well, yeah, it's good, man. It's good so far. You're worried about Stormfront from the previews, but you're proven wrong. Aya Cash is crazy. And the thing is, they needed to have a very, very crazy female to go up against Homelander, and that's what I want to see take off. So let me just I'm trying to get a new overlay to where if people don't want to come into StreamYard, I'm just going to open up the probably just open up the chat, like the phone calls and everything. I just got to get a graphic to go over the thing, because that's going to be kind of annoying. I don't want to like show people's numbers, so I'm just more or less like trying to figure out something else. So the link is in the video description. I'll post it one more time if anyone wants to call on in and stuff like that. This is more just kind of a hangout thing. It's really kind of open topics. As you guys have heard, we've had a couple people talking about writing their books or writing Resident Evil movies, which, hey, listen, if you can do a better job, take the concept of a zombie story and just write a better zombie story. I mean, zombie stories in essence are just social critiques, and that's why people really seem to like them. I mean, not so much my stepdad. He actually he got so mad at me one time because I had said something like, well, what did I say? It was something along the lines of he didn't like that The Walking Dead had done something where it was like, oh god, I forget exactly what The Walking Dead did. You guys know how bad The Walking Dead can get. So, I forget. I just totally forget what it was. But he was like, he's like, Hollywood ruined my boy, because I was like, zombie movies are more, they're more about everything else. And then he's just like, yeah, he just didn't. I don't know. He's a boomer. What can I say? He's a total boomer. He doesn't like to critically think about anything. And we get that sometimes. We do. We get that sometimes with people who just they don't want to critically think about the media that they see. I'm not trying to say that like all Anita Sarkeesian like, but what I mean by that is we get people that just want to take it at absolute face value, and they don't like it if it goes any other direction. Because especially if they have to think. I think that's a big part of it, because like that's not what they have preconceived in their mind. I don't know. The Mystic with Lipstick, literally, it's kind of whatever you want to talk about, whatever's on your mind tonight. I'm just kind of hanging out. So I don't know. I don't think we've ever met before, so I don't know what you're into. So it's literally like whatever. Is there any good drama going on right now? I haven't been paying attention. I've been so fucking busy this last week, which is why I haven't been on. Although I did, the other night I did go see. I took a night off and I went with a buddy of mine to go see Evil Dead and Army of Darkness at a drive-in. That was cool. That was a nice little getaway. I enjoyed that. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out this. Oh, hey, what's going on, Mystic with Lipstick? How you doing?
Hello. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, hi.
Hi. So what's on your mind tonight? What's on your agenda?
I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about any topic, but
it's Friday night. It's fuck it. Fuck it.
Okay. Well, I'm actually dealing with a situation, and I was curious because I've listened to your videos before, and I really appreciate your perspective on things.
I thank you, and I apologize for the shit content that I make. So,
No, I believe me, I've seen worse.
Oh yeah, so have I. But I have too. It's called my older content. It's the early Renaissance period of Mundane Matt, like 2012 to like now, is just that's how I view it. No, but I do appreciate that you pay attention. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, I do a lot of driving every other weekend to go get my son. So I always like to kind of have some stuff ready to listen to while I drive, because it's a pretty long drive. And sometimes I'll listen to some of your stuff as I'm driving. So
No, I hear that.
um,
I'll tell you this: the one thing I hear the most about people, right, is either like I usually hear, "I put you on when I go to sleep," and
I would
then,
be creeped out if someone said that to me. I'd be like,
but I've heard that from like 4 people in the last like 2 months, and they tell me
oh
that,
my,
and I just kind of go, I mean, like, sure. Okay. And they're like, no, 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 I don't mean that in a bad way. I just like, I really find your voice like really soothing and it just like lulls me to sleep. But I really like your content. But I'm like, but you
like,
can't stay
how do
awake
you
during it.
react to that?
You know,
How,
I
what is the
smile.
proper response? Yeah, exactly. Just kind of like smile and nod, like, okay,
I
thank
don't
you,
know.
I
I
think.
feel like I should go more hardcore. Like I should start dropping like every bad word I can think of. You know what I mean? Just like randomly slip it in there and just to keep
Do
everyone on
you
their toes.
do you remember the movie Dawn of the Dead when they had like that lounge player that like took slip no, Disturbed.
Yeah. Oh,
They took
Richard
like a
Cheese is down with the sickness.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you could do. You could like just kind of play it off like all of the cuss words and everything like really like
Oh, I would love to
suave.
do that. Yeah. It's like, cause,
Like total talk show radio host kind of
like
thing.
hold on, let me think here. It's like, come on, get up, get down with the sickness. You mother, get
Yeah,
up, come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up, come on,
exactly.
get down with the quickness. Open up your mouth and let it pour into me.
And
You,
it's like the whole montage where they're like all just like having their own
yeah.
little fantasies throughout the mall.
I had never heard of Richard Cheese until I saw Dawn of the Dead in 2004. And
Me either.
I immediately went out and Napstered like all of his albums. And yeah, I'm dating myself there on that one. That was 2004. I know that might have been Kazaa or Bear Share or LimeWire. I don't know. It was the
I'm
early
showing my
2000s.
age.
Yeah, at this point I feel like that's all I do is show. Like, it's just,
Right.
I'm like I feel like I'm pre-boomer category at this point.
I
And
don't know. I feel like I relate more to my mother now than I would have related to someone, like 10 years younger than me,
yeah,
which
no,
is kind of
I get you.
scary.
I get it. I get it. Like I relate now more to like my dad's like in his 60s and like so we'll have conversations and it's like about I'm like, "Oh yeah, now I know what you went through when you were my age and blah 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 blah." And I understand a lot more. This is the thing, like your parents, they start off as your friends when you're kids. They turn into your mortal enemies when you're a teen cuz they're trying to control
Mhm.
you and fuck them for that, obviously. And you get older, you realize, "No, they're really not that bad. I was just a dick." And
Exactly. I don't know how many times I've called my mom crying, like, I'm so sorry I was a dick to you. Please forgive me because my son is 14 and God help me. So
I
yeah.
have a two and a
Mom
half
is
year
a
old.
bitch.
I have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So it's like
Have fun.
oh god, the 2.5-year-old. I love her to death. I love her to death. She's amazing. But like today like we took her to a park because there's like this like neighborhood half a block up, and they have a park there, and like it's for residents only, but fuck them. And so
Yeah,
we
it's
just
a
walked
park.
up. It's a park, like, and they're not gonna
Explain that to
know.
a toddler because I'm
Yeah.
sure a toddler will be logical and reasonable.
Well, we're currently living in the age of COVID. So quite frankly, like as we were leaving the park, even there was like this mom and her or this grandmother and her granddaughter that were walking on like the other side of the road. And the traditional thing to do, the common thing to do is to look at them and smile and nod and go, "Hi, how are you?" Or say, "Hello, how is your day?" Or
Right.
"Beautiful day." It's a standard, it's a boilerplate greeting. It's used specifically just to kind of like go, "I acknowledge your existence, but I really don't care about this interaction." That's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
But they just
Well, it's
looked at
like,
us with like pure disgust. I'm not kidding you. They looked at us with like pure disgust. And
can I ask what your stance is on the mask? Because that's actually
I
kind of going into what I wanted to bring up with you.
well, I actually yeah, see this is the thing is like I wear my mask. I have to for my job. And
Uh-huh.
like cuz right now I'm working with the Census Bureau. So they're sending me out to all these locations
Fun.
and I go up there and it's it's summertime. It's bright up here in Washington, so I wear my sunglasses and I've got my mask and I look professional enough, polo and jeans. I'm not giving much of a fuck. And I go up there and like, I knock on people's doors and they open the door and there's this dude and I'm just like, "Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm with the Census Bureau." and you know, I got the mask on and they don't have masks or whatever, and it's, you know, like I have to then try to find a way to make them comfortable in order to tell me personal information.
Right.
You know, and
And
so like
it's crazy because my fiance, he kind of does something similar for his job where he has to go door to door, and he actually finds the other side of that because he doesn't wear a mask, and he's actually had a few people who are like, I call them mask Nazis, who've actually like threatened to call the cops on him just because he's trying to do a job.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like, I get it. So a lot of it is, it's kind of like the TSA. Okay.
Yeah.
The TSA is what we got out of 9/11, you know, a whole new branch of the government, the DHS. And so the TSA and all those regulations all came from all that shit. And it's security theater. It doesn't do anything. We all know this deep down inside. We all know it, but it's just something we live with because we know that it makes other people feel safe. And then in essence, it kind of makes us feel safe because we still go through the rigmarole, and it's meant to, you know, make us feel something, mostly annoyed. But at the
Right.
end of
It's
the
like
day,
a level of security.
yeah, even though it's all theater. And the thing with the masks,
Mhm.
to be honest with you, is like a lot of this is just cloth. People wear bandanas.
It's illusion.
I saw someone with a fucking pair of like women's panties on their face. It was like you could tell that's what it was, right? You could tell it wasn't like it was like more like granny panty types. Like I'm like, did you just like literally grab the first thing in the drawer? Like is it laundry day? Is that where we are right now? I know you're at Costco getting your food, but still, lady, I mean, come on.
Come on. I mean, even if you are pro mask, that's just a certain boundary that shouldn't be
and
crossed.
they sell them for some places you can go get them for free. So the Census Bureau gave me a bunch of masks, and these are like nice, thick cotton masks, you know. But the thing is, they look sterile, and I know that's the whole point. They look sterile, but when I show up at someone's door and I've got this like sterile looking white mask on with like a clipboard, and I'm going like, "Hi, I'm from the Census Bureau," it might make people think that I'm up to no good. I'm doing something bad. So I actually talked to my boss, and I'm all like, "Hey, man, do you mind if I just rock my own mask?" And he's like, "Well, it doesn't have any political messaging on it, doesn't it?" And I'm all like, no, I want people to talk to me, so I'm not going to put political messaging on mine.
Right.
And you know, because where I normally go, I go to Trump country pretty often. So it's like, you know, I couldn't wear a Bernie mask and expect to get anywhere. You know what I mean? So
do you feel like you run into, like, are you feeling like you're starting to see more and more Trump supporters?
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Out in the boonies where I go out to the boonies. So like, yes. And I went to one, and it was this private drive. It was like this private road, and there's like a bunch of houses, you know, up there. And I'm pulling up to go to this back house. And this is my very first day on the job. And I'm seeing, like, I turned this corner and there's this barn. And on the barn, there is a, like, I think it was around 20 or 25 foot flag. It was a flag of Trump Pence 2020 pinned to the barn. And I'm just like, dude, no one else is going to drive up this way. Like, you're literally just like preaching to probably the choir. I don't know. But the further I went out that day, the more of this, of these signs I would see. And it's not just your typical signs you would see. These are like homemade, like Trump train 2020
And
or some
it
shit.
could be because they know they're out in the boonies. They have to do like their best to catch whatever attention comes their way.
Maybe. I
You know,
don't
because you're
fault them for
talking about
you
it now. You're talking about it now. So maybe
'cause
that's the whole point, you know?
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, no, maybe. I mean, I know that outside of the city, outside of suburbia,
You got to get creative.
well, yeah, but it's also, you also have a lot of it's, you know, it's like, it's a lot of red in those areas. Now one guy though,
I live in the suburbs of Chicago, just FYI.
Oh, yeah.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you go outside. Actually, it's funny because they're now trying to, the census is now, they've given me 3 offers to like travel because they're getting,
Really?
they have to finish this up by the end of the month. And so they called me yesterday and they were like, "Do you want to go to Georgia?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Do you want to go to Georgia for a week?"
Why do they want to send you where all of the crap is happening?
Because they don't have people. That's what it is. So they're like,
I see.
They're like, "Go to Georgia. We'll fly you out there. We'll rent you a car. We'll put you up in a hotel. You can work 12 hours a day, which would equal a lot of fucking money. And we'll give you a per diem, and we'll cover everything." Right.
It sounds like you're the sacrificial lamb, to be honest.
100%.
Like they are whining and dining you.
Yeah.
It's like your last meal.
They're like, go out there for like 7 days.
I'd take advantage. Yeah, oh God.
Go out there for like, go to Georgia, and they go, it's in, but it's humid. And I'm like, that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a West Coast guy for a reason. Like they're like, you can go to Arizona. And I'm all like, no, because I'm not dumb. It's like 130 degrees up there. Like, I'm a fat white dude from Washington. I would melt. That's not going to happen. But if
I've got Irish skin. It's ridiculous how weird my skin is with the temperature and with the heat and everything. And it's like I don't even tan. My sunburn is my tan.
I think, what is it? What was I think there's a line from Home Alone. He doesn't tan. His freckles just connect. I think it's a line from Home Alone 2.
Oh God, I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah, well,
and I'm such a movie person too. So it's like I'm kicking myself right now for not knowing it.
I do agree. So, but on like the subject of masks. I was less for them until my friend died. And then when my friend died from it down in San Diego, because he chose to not wear a mask, I realized like that they matter when you're outside. You know what I mean? Like, I think they matter because again, it's that theater, but it also shows that you are actively trying, because it's not protecting you from anyone. It's protecting them from you. That's really what it is. And because of the way this virus works and how it targets pre-existing conditions, in the case of my friend, he had kidney problems, and that's what it aggravated that. And that's what killed him. And so since then, I've been a lot more pro-mask, to the point of where I will fully admit this. I had a Karen moment.
Oh no.
Right. Now, yeah. Right. So this is like the day after I found out my friend died. So I was at the Dollar Tree, and there was like a Dollar Tree employee who had one of those like plastic masks on. Have you seen those? Like those headbands with the shield. Like, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're a walking salad bar. I gotcha. Because that's what it feels like to me. It's just, I'm like, it's a sneeze guard.
Or like Subway. There's shields at Subway.
Yeah. And so it was an employee and then like two other people, and they were disparaging the masks. Like but they were doing it in a way that I felt was insanely disrespectful, because they were like, "Oh, this is all a lie. This is all a government conspiracy. None of this is real. It's all made up. Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, come the fuck on." Like I get it. People that are like, I don't want to do it. I get it. Okay. But it's like, acknowledge this is a reality that we are in. Like you have to acknowledge that this is like, there was a guy yesterday that I met, very nice older gentleman. I was enumerating his house, and we're talking about all this. And he basically, was like, I don't really believe it. And I was like, I get you. And I'm like, I do. And then I explained my position on it as I was leaving. And after I said my friend had died and how my friend had died, his entire body language changed. He went, oh, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just like, that's my whole point is 180,000 people did not just magically die. That is.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that it's made up or anything. I don't believe that it's made up or anything like that.
Yeah.
My take is actually more so from that perspective of, like, for people who do have some type of medical condition that makes it very, very challenging to wear the masks. And what I've been running into is a lot of discrimination, because companies and any establishment that offers public accommodation, so that's like anything from a shopping center to a gas station.
Yeah.
You can refuse the right to service people. Yes. Companies, everyone knows that they have those rights up to a certain point, though. And the thing is, though, you can't refuse service to someone based because they have a medical condition, because people with medical conditions, both physical and mental, are considered protected classes. So my whole thing is I understand 100% about, how serious it can get for some people. I'm not saying everybody, but and I think it's fair to say that, we also need to take into account the the logic behind some of the other numbers that get overlooked because they don't fit the mainstream media narrative, which we've
Sure.
all seen at
I
this
get
point.
that. I get that. Yeah. Yeah. And I have issues with that of like where they talk about the cases, but not the recoveries.
Right.
You know, like that's
Yeah.
my concern is like, I feel like, yes, the cases are a big number. But it's like how many people have recovered is definitely something that should be talked about more. Not specifically to like sit there and go that none of it is, you know, like it's clearly all made up or it's all invalid or whatever. But what I mean by that is like to go, if you get it, because a big part of being sick is the recovery process. It's like that, it's like that will to survive. And if you have no will, if you think you're going to die, it manifests it in your brain. I believe that. I believe it manifests it. I believe mind over matter sort of thing. And if you are not in the fighting spirit, you can succumb to it. And I think that talking about how many cases have been, how many people have been cured and everything else is something definitely to consider. But they don't talk about that because I don't know why. It's just, it's not sexy enough. I get that.
Well,
It's
it's like
not sexy enough.
I've watched Joe Rogan, and even Joe Rogan has brought, and Joe Rogan is like as liberal democratic as you can get. I mean, for a while he was backing up Bernie Sanders, I believe.
Yeah, he liked them.
You know, so I mean, and I'm not saying Joe Rogan is like a perfect example. It's just an example. But, you know, he was even mentioning like, why aren't we talking about how we can boost our immune systems more so that way they can stay stronger to fight this? Especially those who do have compromised immune systems. You know, why aren't we coming up with proactive ways to better our health in the process as well, instead of just focusing on shutting in, shutting down, and that's it? Because I think that both sides have so many, you know, constructive ideas and concerns, you know, logical concerns, but it's like everyone wants to fight for the right to be right.
Yeah, and that's the problem is ego plays a big factor in a lot of this, right? Like,
oh, big time.
Like when I, again, like back to the whole, when I had my Karen moment, I fully admit, like, I probably mishandled it, but they hit me, it triggered me, and I responded. And, you know, and what it was just like, all I said to the woman was like, you know, hey, my friend just died. He didn't wear a mask. He didn't believe in it. And then she goes, well, if it's my time, it's my time. That was that I hate that fucking response, by the way.
And that's actually my fiance's response.
And then so then I looked back at her and I said, yeah, he thought the same thing, but he's leaving behind grandkids and children. Right. And she goes, well, I have those too. And at this point I just started walking away, and I just turned around and said, well, I wish you luck.
Yeah.
And I walked away. And then I went to the back of the store for a second because I got kind of pissed off, and I was like, gotta calm myself down. I'm also like, when I went back to my car a few minutes later, I was like, am I gonna get jumped in the parking lot? Yeah, I got no fucking idea what's gonna happen. And I'm usually not that kind of confrontation person. I'm really not that kind of that. But
before I came and found your video tonight, your live stream, I saw on Twitter like these outrageous protests that are going on right now. I guess in, like, I think it was Rochester, New York.
New York, yeah, I saw something about that.
Yeah, it's like intense. And I just keep trying to think to myself, like, you know, it's one thing when you see it on the news and obviously on social media and stuff, but I feel like people have this disassociation with the reality and with, you know, not reality, I guess you could say, because it's like they just because they see it on a screen and they don't see it in real life, they don't realize like how this can still infiltrate your life at some point.
Yeah, I mean, and like I'm worried I'm gonna get it by going to all these houses and by traveling. Like when I was doing food delivery has been probably one of the coolest things because everyone is taking it seriously, right? Like you have to. So, you know, it's like I wear a mask when I go pick up the food. All the employees are like, you know, they take it very seriously. I've gotten to know a lot of these people over the last, you know, times since I've been doing this. And it's a lot of the same people that still work at these locations, and they're all as scared as anyone else. Right. So they take it as best as they can. And then 99% of my deliveries are all no contact. It's literally just like drop off. But now doing the census stuff, it's like going to people's houses, knocking on their door. You know, more interaction. They don't wear masks, right? And then it's like, and there a lot of them are, I don't think I had one woman. Oh my fucking God. I want to like, I'm a stubborn bastard. I'll fully admit. And like, I understand people, there's trepidation with this stuff. I get it. I get why people don't want to answer the government. I understand it. But after a while, some of these people will pull some maneuvers that just make me go, I want to come back every day until I get what I need. Only because I'm like, no, you're not going to treat me like that. I'm going to be a dick right back to you. This one woman, I knock on her door. Her husband answers. They have been denying. They've just been refusing to give the information, and they live remote enough to where getting help is going to be a problem. Getting a neighbor to give me the info, because we can find proxies that know who they are and can give us and it's not even that, it's like general shit, right? It's like general shit, and so, but I'm sworn I can't divulge any of it. And I honestly forgot like all of it, but anyway, so I go to this door and I'm talking to them and they're like refusing, and I'm trying to explain to them like, look, under Title 13 of the, I think it's like of the it's not the Constitution, it's constitutionally regulated or required, but it's like under Title 13 of the U.S. Census Bureau, every citizen is legally required to respond. Right.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It's absolutely legally required to do. It is. And that's why in this particular situation, if I need to go to someone's property and they have a no trespassing sign, like it means zero to me, because I still have to go. And there's a guy, this guy was so mad at me last weekend. He was so mad at me because I walked past like two of them, and he was so pissed.
Oh my God.
And then this guy was like, he was a huge fucker.
See, but you know what? Most of society, like regular everyday people like myself and even you, if you weren't working for them, you probably wouldn't know that. I know I didn't know any of that. And it's like they associate the census stuff with, I think, soliciting and whatnot.
They do a little bit. Yeah. Morning, afternoon headshot here says Matt Karen patrolling since he became a Fed.
Oh God.
It's not like that. It's like I need like if it's like two people living in a home, I just need like 3 minutes of your time and no one will come back. That's what it is. The problem though is our training is terrible. And a lot of people like either rush through it or don't have like the cognitive capacity to pull it off, right? And I say that not to be disparaging against other enumerators, because it is a difference. They give you an iPhone and that we have 9 hours of online. That's our the 3-hour phone, one role play, and I was the only to ask like volunteer just how to have a house. And then we got like no conflict resolution training. So I'm like, I have to think of ways to like get people to submit, basically.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of it is just like, you can kind of just start off. Like I had a woman, I'm not kidding, 2 days ago, tell me that the only reason why she was talking to me was because I was white.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, I don't know how to respond to that. I'm not going to respond to that. I'm just going to get your information. I'm going to go.
It's interesting though, because, well, it's like what you were saying about how like some people like really piss you off with it. And that's my thing, is because I'm not trying to sit here and say like I want to violate anyone's, rights or whatever. I also don't want mine violated either though.
Sure.
And because the Walmart near us, the Walmart, because if Walmart's doing it, then God obviously sanctified it himself.
Yeah, that's true.
But for an example, Walmart, they have signs outside that saying, masks are required, because in Illinois right now we are under a mask mandate. However, it does state in there that if you are able to medically tolerate wearing the mask, you have to. And a lot of places, there's just so much misinformation out there, because even Walmart, they have a sign that says, young children and people with health conditions are exempt, like if it's an issue, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's either all health matters or none of it does, because individually when it comes down to it, I mean, yes, on a large scale, of course I care about everybody else, but an individual scale, I care about myself too. And I pay for my medical bills, not the people forcing me to do these other things that I medically can't do. Because I've been kicked out of a couple places now. Even though I state to them I have a medical condition that prohibits it. And, um, you know, they tell me it doesn't matter, get out. And it's like, it does state in the mandate that if someone medically cannot tolerate it, they don't have to wear a mask. So it's becoming an issue, I think, all over though, because of the misinformation.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I do think, I mean, this is where my question would, and not, it's just a general question is like, where does ADA stop in this particular situation?
Right.
Like where is that argument going to come into play? Is someone going to file a lawsuit? I would honestly think at this point in time that if someone were to effectively make like to try to make that claim, so to speak, that they would probably just be met with like laughter by like the courts.
Oh yeah.
The courts would just go, whatever, like, yeah, file it in civil. Okay, cool. We're in a pandemic, wear the fucking mask, move on with your day. Because it's like the people, what I don't get are the people, like I understand in some cases, like the people who have trouble breathing through it, right? Like it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. When I first started wearing my mask, it was fogging up my glasses constantly. I fucking hated it.
I wear glasses too. Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm just like, "Arr," and then here it is months later, and it's like, I don't even notice it anymore. I pop it on. It's like second nature to put it on. I'm like, okay, ooh, well, let me make sure I have that on me. Like when I went to the drive-in the other night, like the lady was wearing her mask and I pulled up, I put my mask on just like as a courtesy, even though like it's whatever. But I took it off as soon as I left because I didn't get out of my car for the rest of the night. And so it's like that. So I'm like, there's nothing, it doesn't prohibit you from doing anything. Right? Like it really doesn't. And I think people are like, the thing is, a lot of people who are Trump supporters were anti-mask until Trump came out being pro-mask. And then as soon as he came out and he wore a mask, I saw so many people on Twitter that were like, you would see the comparison, that they'd find the tweets, you know what I mean? Where it's like, fuck masks. And then like, a month later, oh my God, masks are awesome. Where do I get that Trump mask from? And it's like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
sure,
I've seen
you
it
get
too.
there, you get there eventually. Okay, fine. I can't fault you for that. You're getting there eventually. But it drives me nuts as a person that's like, if we just would chill the fuck out and like pull our heads out of our asses on the subject, we could flatten the curve. And it's really about flattening the curve. But it's like, for some reason, because so many people on the right equate this to like a civil rights issue, it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like it conflates it. It keeps it problematic, in my opinion.
Right. And see, I guess my thing is like, I guess I wish that both sides could find a way to come together and value, like, and it's like taking political aside, let's say just pro-mask and anti-mask, or even people with medical condition for mask, with that, it's also like a gray area as well. But I think if people would be willing to try to come together, so that way we could create some type of system where if there was ever a pandemic, God forbid, in the future, we have these things set in place so that way no one is experiencing, either their rights being invaded or violated, whatever, however you want to put it. Or people, their safety is not being violated either, because I know that feeling safe is a huge deal too, and to a lot of people, actually, seeing that mask on other people while they're out, that is that's something that they see that makes them feel safe, and that's important for them too, just as much. So I think it's not so much about who's more right or wrong, or like who's lagging or whatever. I think it's all about like all of us coming together and like doing our best that we can, to consciously play a part to a solution instead of constantly, lingering over the problem, because I think we all know the problems. It's just more so how can we find a solution that is more of a fit all situation,
Yeah, I think, but I think if we really break it down, right now the masks are just like the easiest fucking solution. You know, it's like it's the most minimal invasive thing. It's not like, you know, when it's I mean, other than that, you know, like what they might do is they might start implementing like my Walmart now has a line to get in. You know, we jokingly call it line the ride.
Oh my God, you should see the line for our DMV.
Yeah, thank God
It's
Washington State
crazy.
it's like one little area. It's mostly
It
done
looks like
online.
a
So
ride at Six Flags. I kid you not.
yeah, it's
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I'm so happy most of the shit's online here. Like Washington streamlines so much shit. Like I need to get a refill of my prescription. The doctor's office just automatically was like, yeah, he needs it. Here you go. We're just gonna send it in. No, I don't need to call anyone. Walmart texts me, okay, it's time to refill. Go get it. There we go. It's good. And I'm like, yay, antidepressants.
No. I feel you on that.
It's just like, you know, it's just.
I mean, at this point,
right.
I feel like everyone is going to be on some type of antidepressant because this shit is just depressing.
I just personally think everyone just needs to get laid. I think that would calm down so many people out there that are just so pent up. You know,
I personally feel that if everyone in the whole entire world smoked a joint at the same time, we would have world peace for at least minimum 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I haven't smoked myself in a long time, but yeah, I'm okay with that. I think
I've been hitting it. Yeah.
hey, it's all good. It's all good. A friend of mine is trying to talk me into micro dosing. Like, you want to do shrooms, man? I'm all like, fuck at this point, why not? You know.
Well, actually, I do mine for medical reasons, so it's a lot different than recreational.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
totally.
no, it is. I'll be honest. I have complex PTSD, and I also have chronic anxiety, and I live with chronic pain as well. So, yeah.
Well, you know, hey, get high. You know what I mean? Like this.
It just helps with the symptoms. You know, I mean, I'm all about I'm an open book. You know. Because I feel like education is always the best thing that I can do. So it's like if people have a certain perspective about marijuana or whatever, like I do my best to at least educate from my perspective and how it has helped me.
Yeah.
I totally support it 100%. I think it's good all around. It really does help with sleep. If anyone has any like insomnia issues or just anxiety in general, I mean, it really does help just shut your brain off for a little while, let you relax.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at. I like float therapy.
Ooh,
so
what's that?
Float therapy it's a sensory deprivation tank. Okay. And it's like it's fucking, I love it. So what you do is like there's a couple places that are like chain, but I go to this place locally I prefer it than the chains. It's the idea there is I get into it's a jacuzzi, right? It's a jacuzzi, but it's walled off. It's walled off. It's filled with 1,000 gallons of Epsom salt filled water, right?
Oh,
so it's like, I think it's like 1,000 gallons of water and 1,000 like pounds of Epsom salt. So basically it's just like the salinity level is insane and you float.
You're like 11 in Stranger Things.
Yeah, pretty much. You float. And so like, I've done it where it's silent for an hour, and I can't do that. Like, it has to be some kind of noise.
That would be my heaven.
Well, so the one I go to up here is 90 minutes.
Oh wow!
And they have a rainstorm that they put on, and I love a good rainstorm. So I just lay in this. It's completely pitch black. It's entirely pitch black. There's no light. I'm laying in this jacuzzi of water. I'm just floating. And you know, for the first like 30 minutes or so, it's really trying to just disconnect. And it's trying to just unwind and then let my body relax. And so you start to feel, it's kind of painful because you start to, you realize like how bunched up you are, how just tense you are. So you start feeling it kind of relax and feeling it relax. And then my mind starts to wander and I start to think about things I want to do or projects I want to undertake. And then from there, I just kind of let my mind go and I just get to think. I just get to focus on my brain for an hour and 30 minutes. And
that's called meditation.
Yeah, it really is. It's very meditative.
Yeah.
And it's great because I walk out and I just feel so refreshed. and they've been closed for months. They're reopened now. Thankfully, I thought they were going to close because I bought they had a bunch of deals for like buy one get one basically, and I was all like buy. You know, I bought myself a few.
I'm gonna look into that. I wonder if there's any like nearby or even in Chicago.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's. Go on Groupon and you'll be able to find. I'm sure you'll be able to find something.
That sounds
and
amazing.
it's totally social distancing because no one else is in there. You know?
Well, and see, me personally, like I'm all about social distancing because I don't like people. Like I'm not prejudiced. I don't like anybody. I just like I keep to myself. Like strangers scare me. Just because I don't know. I just feel like nowadays things are just so unpredictable. So it's like I just mind my own. I stay in my own lane.
Sure.
So it's like when it comes to the social distancing, like I'm cool with it because I mean, I don't know if you're that kind of person, but I know like before all of this, when I would go to the grocery store or whatever, like people would be like right up behind you.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Like I was at the Dollar Tree today, and there was like they have like the line marks again. I just stopped off there to look at something real quick, and I'm buying something to drink, and like this girl is like crowding this family in front of her. And the thing is, I don't think she realized it. Like everyone had masks on and whatever, but like I don't think they realized like the 6 foot distance sort of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends up being, I think, a bit of an issue for some people. I just kind of went like, all right, I kept my distance back to kind of space it out, but. Yeah, I mean, some people out there don't realize like when I go to the store, you know, it's like avoiding people. I think people are kind of like at first they were really aware of it. Now they're just kind of like herding back in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just kind of getting back into the old routine. But people want that. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, they want that normalcy.
Well, humans are social naturally. I mean, you go back to
Yeah.
caveman days. We're social then, we're social now. And if anything, we're more social than probably ever because of, you know, the advancements and creation of social media and social technology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
So, I mean, social distancing, like when I first heard them come out with that term, it's honestly like it made me feel sick to my stomach because it just sounds scary.
No, I get that. I get that. For me, it's kind of like, it's, you know, I don't mind not being around people as well. So I'm totally cool with like I like to go to Walmart and do my shopping at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Me
Because they're
too.
open and like no one's there. And
Yep.
I don't have to deal with anyone. And
Yep.
that's why I like doing the food delivery bit at night. It's like I talk to the people who work at the store, I drop off the food, I go into the next round, I'm good to go. I ain't gotta deal with shit. But like, you know, but I get it. I totally get it. Let's see here. All right. I'm trying to think. We've been on for an hour. So I'm gonna
I
let
should
you
probably let you go.
well, no, I really appreciate you calling in. It's I like to meet new people and I like to have good conversations, and I feel this has been both.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I do this all the time. Not this last week. I've just been super busy and I might have to go out of town, but otherwise I'll do this definitely more often. I just like to keep it loose and keep it open and let people chat. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for coming on in. Definitely
Thank you.
coming again, and you know, don't get high and drive, I guess.
No, I'm home for the night, going to bed actually.
All right. Well,
have a good one. Thank you, Matt.
Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So let's see here. We'll go on about maybe another 20 minutes or so. I'll bring up the phone line. People may want to call in on the phone line. There we go. Oh, God damn it. That did not do what I wanted it to do. Hold on a second. Okay. I did not save that as a PNG. I saved it as a JPEG like a moron. All right. Okay. This should work now. I was just going to block the, whatever you want to call it, block the numbers because I want to open up the phone line here. There we go. Oh yeah. All right. It's not, yeah. All right. It works. I have to take the chat off the screen just so I can bring up the, oops. Hold on here. My bad. I am figuring this out as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. This is normal for me to like, you know, test things. Okay. All right. So there we go. That should be accurate. So let me find the number. I should have the number up here on the banner. Do I have the? I don't have the goddamn number. Hold on. Shit. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm having tech issues. Almost done. Okay. Let me do that. There we go. All right. We've got the number. Let me just put that in the thing. There we go. Okay. There's a number. Let me just call, let me finish setting this up real quick and we'll just do it like this. Okay. Yeah, I know. Professional. This is professional. If you guys want more professional, go watch the kill stream. Okay. There we go. Now the number is there. If anyone wants to call in, 207 323-207-0499. We'll do about maybe 20 minutes of that, and then I'm going to go to bed. So I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow. And then let me take a look here at the chat. All right. Why is Campia still saying that the Snyder Cut is the same film? I don't know what Campia is doing. I haven't watched Campia in a while. I don't know what he's up to. He's up to some weird shit. Let's see here. Let me take a look here. All right, you guys are talking about some other stuff in the chat. But, all right, well, give it a sec. You guys are talking about Kratom. What is Kratom? I've seen it. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what the Kratom is. So you guys have to tell me that one. All right. Well, I mean, otherwise, what's going on today? I was reading up Trump's in more hot water. Apparently, like he was calling Marines, Army veterans for the Vietnam War suckers and losers or something. I mean, come on. Does that surprise anyone at this point that Trump's out there making those comments? Like, he says things without thinking about them all the time. You can't really be shocked. Trump could come out and straight drop the N-bomb and I'd be like, yeah, I kind of expect it. Like nothing he says is like that anymore. Hold on. What do I think of Dax? Well, I mean, I've met Dick Masterson and I wasn't impressed. I don't understand what the hype is. Dick Masterson is, when I met him, he was like, I met Dax and then I met Dick, right? And like the two people, I mean, clearly they operate in the same mindset. But the thing with Dax is like he's such he is so desperate to be liked that like it's just all an act. It's all a show. Like I don't know if he believes what he says. Like I caught part of that debate last night between him and Worski. And I'm on Worski's side in this issue, which is weird because Worski's a fucking idiot. And I'm on his side in this debate because I don't like Lil Leaguer Shota. I think it's ridiculous. I understand Dick's argument about protecting. I get what he's trying to say. I just don't agree with it. And that's weird because it's like, it's hard to argue free speech and not defend that because it is expression. It's a very nuanced discussion. As I've said before repeatedly, take Loli, take Shota, whatever you want to call it, take it out back, beat it with a shovel, bury it in a shallow grave, and let it rot. I think it's disgusting. I want nothing to do with it. I never want to see it. I think people who engage with it have issues. I don't necessarily view it as a deterrent. I view it as more of a gateway. And you know what? That's not the hill you want to fucking die on, in my opinion. That's not the hill you want to die on. So it's more or less like, but Dick feels like he has to defend it. Maybe because of Digibro. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. We'll have to just wait and see what's going on with that one. So I just don't fucking know, man. I'm just, at this point, anything is kind of possible. Is kind of impossible. Let's see here. Quixotic asks, so it should be illegal. See, that's the problem, right? Again, artistic expression versus intent. It's one of those things where I think if we're going to argue about it as being someone's thought process, then no, it shouldn't be. But it should be one of those things where maybe it's not illegal, but it should be so fucking morally shunned that like it is not something that you do in society, period. You know what I mean? Like it's just something like that is cancelable type shit right there in my mind, you know? Like, so maybe that's the way to approach it. This is such a nuanced issue. Some will argue it's black and white. The reality of it is, much like everything else in this world, it's gray. It's nuance. You have to find, it's, you know, you're gonna run into, mostly everyone is probably gonna have some form of hypocritical belief on this, because then you could, if someone sits there and goes, well, I think Shota should be banned or lollies should be banned. And that, then the response back to that could be, oh, so you're against free speech. And then that person will go, no, I'm for free speech, you know, but I don't like it being about kids. Like, well, then it becomes this conundrum of like, you know, it's like it's like Schrodinger's child porn. Like it is or it isn't, you know what I mean? And it becomes this massive dilemma. And that's what it boils down to. So it's like, I think it should be one of those things where it's like, it's legal for me to say the N-word, but it's so morally shunned that you are, you know, that for the most part, you just don't do it, you know? And I say for the most part, because I think people say it all the time, even though they know they probably shouldn't. And I'm not saying me, I'm saying like in general, you know, like was it Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin? Like said it in she was like on an Instagram live or something, was like rapping along with the song and said it. And people tried to cancel her because she's not black, she's Latino. So it's our Latinx, whatever they want to call it now. So it's all that kind of stuff. It becomes this interesting conversation because there's so many nuances to it. You're never gonna come to a proper conclusion, I think. But I do think that it could be something that ends up like anything involving sexualized children in any capacity should be shunned morally. Okay. You know, it really should. And it just, I don't like any of it. I personally fucking hate all of it. I think it's disgusting. And I don't like the fact that our society cherishes that to an extent, you know, like the young cheerleader thing, like some of those competitions. No, why are they dressed like this? You know, it's like, no, don't do that. I'm not saying don't perform cheer, but there's gotta be a better way. I'm not a fan. Legalize the N-word. Let's see here. Lord Humongous says, if you draw a picture of a kid getting fucked, you should get the acid bath. I agree. I agree. Let's see. Did I hear about people boycotting Mulan because the lead actress supports the Hong Kong police? She supported the Hong Kong, the police in Hong Kong during the protests. So it's like, that was a while ago. And like people tried to cancel it then, and Disney doesn't care. Disney doesn't give a shit. I think I think her opinion is wrong. Free Hong Kong is the only way to go, obviously. But you know, she has her opinions, and you can agree or disagree. And I think a lot of people are, you know, I think a lot of people are going to pirate Mulan, to be honest with you. I really do. All right. Well, okay. So from what I can gather, no one is calling in. That's okay. This was like an impromptu thing. So we'll just talk to you guys and go from there, because I'll wrap up here probably in the next like 10 minutes. So we'll just do that. But I just wanted to, you know, get people to give them the opportunity to cruise on in and talk. Okay, see here. She was saying, okay, I don't think it's supposed to be a legality argument, but Dax was saying it's great and soccer dads are the problem. Got to break if you can. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's the problem with people like Dick. When you take a serious conversation like the ones that they're talking about, and it's a serious conversation, but when you have those conversations and he tries to interject these absolute lame cold take jokes, it's like, dude, my fucking God, you're not funny. Stop it. You're a balding 40-year-old man who doesn't have kids, and you fucking scream into the void from like your mini mansion in Hollywood. Like, you're not funny. Like, honest to God, like nothing Dick Masterson says is ever funny. You know, he just knows how to yell, and that's really about it. He knows how to yell. All right. Hey, what's going on, Fowl? How you doing, man?
Doing okay, you?
Awesome, awesome. So, what's on your mind? You're probably my last caller of the night.
Oh, I was just calling. You were talking about the weird lolicon thing, and what I find really weird about that, and him sticking up for Digibro with all that. Yeah, if he could make the excuse that like he doesn't think that person in particular, is a pedo. I that's kind of weird for a lot of people to actually imagine. But even if you're going to say that like one person in particular isn't, Digibro like advocates for other people to be okay with that and for it to be available to people. He supports it. You can't tell me that none of the people that he's fighting for have that problem too. That none of them are pedophiles, right?
No, you can't. You can't say that.
I mean, so in a sense, he is, whether or not it's Digibro or somebody else fighting for them and advocating for their degeneracy. So,
well, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I view it as a gateway into harder stuff, right? And I generally don't tend to view porn as a gateway into like the harder porn. Like I know that was an argument that Worski was making last night, and I feel like it's a boomer take, from like when you were kids and they're like marijuana is a gateway drug. Like not really. You have to be looking for it in order to go to the harder shit, really. If you keep in your lane, you're kind of fine. What I would argue though is that if you go to, let's say, Pornhub, which is like the number one site, you go to Pornhub and you go to their front page, what do you generally tend to find on the front page? It's a lot of that like incest stuff, right? It's a lot of that kind of taboo content, and that shit's creepy in my opinion. So it's a lot. It's everywhere, because it's like almost like the last form of taboo that porn can dive into. Because gone are the days of the pizza delivery boy, right? Yeah. The plumber, the cable guy, gone are the mechanic. Oh, I gotta pump your radiator, right? Sort of thing. That's all gone now. Those stories of the day. Now it's like, oh, my hot stepmom. like what reality is this? Like, I mean, and the thing is too, and I'll tell you this is something I've noticed, and that, I want to know if you guys have noticed this too. And I'm not saying I'm an avid watcher of pornography, but I dabble from time to time. To not give too much information away. But have you ever noticed how much of like porn in like modern age it feels like is rape? Is just straight up rape, right? Like there's so much of it where like the person's asleep, like the woman's asleep, and the dude just gets this raging boner and he's sleeping next to her. And he's like, oh, I'm just gonna like paw her tits and I'm gonna put it in her butt and she's not gonna notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so much of that. And it's like, for one, I can't. That doesn't do anything for me because that shit's fucking creepy.
I remember when it was when they were defending Worski with the stealthing thing. And Failure had said like he did that with his girlfriend. She was sleeping, and they'd probably consider that rape if somebody did that today. It's like,
well, the thing with Andy Worski and the stealthing incident is that I don't give a fuck if that was his girlfriend or not. That was a scummy fucking move, and that was a scummy move. Like I don't want to wear a condom. He pulled it off and he continued to have sex with her. And while nothing might have happened, that doesn't take away from the act that's there, right? Like the actual physical act of removing protection in order to satiate your physical needs that, could have been met with disastrous results. Like what if he got her pregnant? Or what if she had a disease? Or what if he had a disease? Or something along those lines. And even that, and I just want to put this out, those don't even really matter to the crux of the argument. The crux of the argument is trust. He violated trust by doing that, in my opinion.
I think the big thing about it too is like, I don't know, I guess maybe because he's a likable guy or whatever, but it seems like people want to pat him on the back. They want to forget about his past all the time. Like, just let it go. And, even yesterday I saw people sticking up for him, but he was still doing the whole stupid, like, trying to call you a pedophile.
Yeah, it's the dumbest. The thing is, that's the thing with that guy, a motherfucker. Like, fuck Jesus fucking Christ, that fucking moron. I swear to God, he won't get on a call with me. Like, this is the thing. They'll fucking run their stupid little fucking mouth. They'll fucking. It was Kyler who brings it up. It's Kyler who's obsessed with me. He's legitimately obsessed with me at this point. Like, Kyler's the one that keeps bringing me up. He's the one that called my cell phone repeatedly. He's the one that used his real name when he called my cell phone, apparently. I thought that it was a made-up name. He's like, no, that's my real name. I'm like, well, bitch, you just gave me your real name and your number. Like, what is this? Like a fucking grinder hookup? What do you want from me? You know, like, what is it you want? What is it you're trying to do? It's the same thing when Drummer hit me up and he's trying to they're trying to get me in some kind of gotcha to fucking serve me up on some silver platter to like the gunted fucking goose, you know? Oh, fucking, oh, Lord Ralph or Master Andy, please let me worship at your feet by trying to give you what you had 2 years ago, which was shit on Matt. Now it's 2 years later and you've got nothing, but let me try. That is how bad it is for them right now. This is the reality they live in. They will fucking do these gay ops because that's what they are. They are gay ops. They will try this shit. But the thing is, as soon as I push back, they run, they hide, they cower behind their mother's apron strings, and they all freak the fuck out. What have I done tonight? I have an open StreamYard. You can call in. I've dropped a number. You can call in. Anyone can call in. Anyone can call whatever they want to talk about. I'm open. I'm available. And what do? Oh, we're gonna run to DLive. We're gonna run to DLive and hide in our follower only chat that you have to pay money to be in because you know, it is such an echo chamber hug box that these fucking pedantic micro dick fucks, because that's what they are. Let's be fair here. You want to talk about big dick energy? Do you really think Andy fucking Koksky has got a big dick? Hell no. How do you think the condom fell off? It wasn't on purpose. It was on accident. He was just too embarrassed to actually fucking say something about it at the time.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Oh, little micro peen Andy. We've seen Ralph's dick. Nothing about that to write home about. You know?
You know, I never thought I'd have to say that, but yeah, we have.
We have, yeah, I know, right? It's one of those things that's I need to go back to therapy. You know? Like I tried explaining that situation to normies, right? I was at the drive-in the other night with my friend. And he's like, oh, so what's going on with YouTube? I'm all like, let me tell you about some shit. So I'm trying to explain to this guy who doesn't even have a Facebook profile, like the gunt, the tape, the kid, the 18, the dad, the Warski, the DLive, all this shit. Right. I'm trying to explain it to him. And he's like, the fuck kind of shit are you doing? Are you involved in? And I'm like, this is just the internet, man. This is the fucking internet. This is how bad things are right now.
Nah, I've tried to explain it once and it's just too crazy. I just ended up eventually saying like, yeah, I talk to people about politics. So yeah.
Hold on. Morning Afternoon Headshot says DLive spanked the kill stream. What exactly happened with that? I know something about the chat. Something about the chat's all I know about. So, well, I guess there's something with the DLive chat, like they had to institute restrictions on the chat.
Yeah, it's gonna happen eventually. I mean, they break all the rules there, but they kind of just look the other way. But you know, how long are they gonna look the other way?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, as soon as it doesn't become profitable, right? Like, so there was that whole Vouch situation, right, where he criticized that black woman for the way she looked and the way she spoke, and that was not a good clip. But you know, he did that, and then people are trying to cancel Vouch. Like someone, I forget who I know, was like, oh, Vouch is going to get run off of YouTube. He's going to go to DLive. And I'm like, for one, no, he's not going to get run off of YouTube for that. Right. He's not. That's not going to happen. He might lose a Patreon or he might lose some funding somewhere, but YouTube's not going to care. He didn't say the N-word. And you know, he can argue that it was just a misspeak, right? Because he was attacking conservatives, and I don't think YouTube is going to stop him from attacking conservatives. That being said, if he got booted off of YouTube, he would go to DLive, where Vouch would destroy the gunt in regards to numbers, and even Nick Fuentes would be rivaled by the numbers. And then if other bread tubers decide to leave YouTube because of the restrictions, and they go to DLive, now you're going to be looking at the left versus some of the worst of the right. And that's going to put them in a very precarious situation. There's already been that fucking time.com hit piece.
Yeah,
I
do think there's a possibility of someday becoming that. You look at one side and say, like, they're not really controversial, but there's some people that are. And just on top of that, it's just easier. Like, they get so much criticism for political opinions that it's just easier to not have it on the site. And that's what YouTube's going through. And if there's pushback, then it's going to be just easy enough for them to say, yeah, why don't you we'll just get rid of it all.
Yeah. And then there's going to be a site that will take them, and that will be something like DLive. And then DLive will capitulate to the left. Because right now they are working with the right because the right was bringing in the money. And if the left starts bringing in more money, they will then do what they want. The reason why Ralph gets away with what he gets away with on there is because he is number 8 in the top 10 of earners. So they look the other way for the shit that he does, the illegalities that he performs on their platform, the illegalities that Andy Worski performs on their platform, the things that they do, the things that they say, the guests that they have. They look the other way because of the money that's coming in. If you fuck with that, if you bring the lefties over there and the lefties start making more money, then now all of a sudden DLive is gonna go where the money is, and the right wingers are gonna get booted off there, you know, or if BitTorrent, because BeLive now owns them. So when that integration is complete into BeLive, which is gonna see the ending of DLive, I mean, who knows if BitTorrent's gonna want to have that kind of riffraff on their site. Now, granted, they're a piracy site for the most part, but still, you know, it's a weird saga to look at, because it really is. It goes to show you that, like, for one, everything is on a limited time frame, and all of these guys are going to push it as far as they can. Why do you think Ralph wants to go more centered? Why do you think he wants to bring on more people that are of centered opinions? So he can still be to the right, but he can be like Rush Limbaugh light or Glenn Beck light or something like that. But the problem with Ethan Ralph is you've got a person who is addicted to not just one thing, but multiple things, and not all of it substances. He's addicted to that chat. He's addicted to the popularity that he has on DLive, where he stands on, you know, where he sits in the pecking order. I mean, look at him when he realized that the chill stream wasn't re-streaming him. He was freaking out on air. Well, I don't know what's going on. They're not re-streaming me. Oh, well, is it, you know, he wasn't going to do it until you DM'd him during the show and badgered him into re-streaming you halfway through. You know, like, that kind of emotional immaturity is what is going to ultimately destroy him. Because as soon as that goes away, and it will again, because he can't help himself, then the only other thing he's got is actual hard substances. Booze, pills, drugs. It's a bad cocktail.
It is. I think it's one of those things where it's not even worth worrying about, in a sense, because I think he's probably going to be his own demise.
Yeah.
Decisions he makes.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can attest fully about bad decisions. You know, but the key is to you got to find a way to move on. You got to find a way to keep going, and you got to realize that you can't go do those things again. And someone like him doesn't understand that now. He kind of did, I think, coming off of jail. Now, what he needs is rehab. What he probably needs is another year-long stint in prison, to be fair. Because Ralph, no, I mean that. I'm being like sincere when I say this. Because what Ralph needs is what a lot of people like him need. And they need regimented schedule that's out of their control. They need somebody to tell them what to do every hour of every day. If they are going to accomplish anything, they need someone to micromanage their existence. The thing is, Ralph had that in prison. He doesn't have that when he's out. Nora helped with the show. Gator helped with the show. He has help, but he's losing that help. And as he's like, the thing is, like, his audio is terrible on his show. PO will stream and he'll fix the audio for Ethan, which is really funny. you know, the the autistic Norwegian can like do better. And you know, and he boasts about it as a laugh. And so we start to see like this is a person who cannot function in their own right. Needs someone to watch. Why do you think he wants Faith? Faith is not a person to him. She is like a secretary, or in some aspects maybe a slave, emotional, physical perhaps. You know, like she's going to be there to look after him, and she's going to do it because she's young and she wants to please somebody. She wants to please him, and that's what she's going to do. And so in the meantime, he's going to, you know, be as stupid as he is because he can't help himself, but she's not the person to help him. She's literally a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
I wouldn't even call her a Band-Aid. She's, I don't know, she's kind of pulling him in all these directions, trying to get him to fucking just do what she wants. I see her as one of those types.
I mean, like, I don't know all the details on that one, but I haven't, as far as I can tell, haven't they been like pretty kind of off air? Like is she even on social media right now?
No, it seems like she kind of disappeared offline.
Well, she doesn't have a phone because her dad has a phone and her dad has her computer, and now her dad has all of their Discord conversations, everything. And not just with, I mean, if you, what her dad had said at one point was basically, if you read the timeline, she became a NEET on Discord. She would stay up all night on Discord, sleep all day. So all of those conversations that she would have had with people, and I don't know who she knows. I mean, we know Ralph, but all of those conversations she would have had with people is archived and logged on her Discord. And if she did not two-factor that, fuck, it doesn't matter if she did two-factor that shit. The dad's got the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So the dad can get, and you not think that Vickers has not gone into literally everything? Email, Facebook, Discord. I mean, the dude went fucking full-on forensic scientist into his daughter's life to get dirt to fuck with Ethan.
I usually hate parents getting that involved, but I mean, with her, like, just telling everyone different stories, I don't even know how you'd manage that. Like, it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So shit, I didn't want to fucking wrap it up. Okay, we got 2 more people in the chat. I'll bring on Hondo, and we three can chat because I think he wants to talk about that stuff too. And then 8 speeches in the back. I'm keeping you back there, dude. I don't want to deal with fake Sarkon right now. Anyway. All right.
Hello? Hey, Matt. Sorry, I'm lagging really bad.
That's okay. StreamYard has that. Are you mobile on your computer?
No, I'm on the computer.
Okay.
Anyways, dude, did you check out what happened last night with the PO? Like how he broke into like Ralph's live stream?
I was aware that some stuff went down.
Holy shit, dude!
Like I know Ralph showed the Hangout link.
Yeah, and literally all of PO's chat, like we noticed it, right? And someone, like a bunch of people, copied the link to get into his like little Hangout thing. And they just started like bombarding him just constantly with requests to join. and you heard the little ding dong noise, people trying to get in, and Ralph broke his entire streaming setup, right? Like he opened up his tabs and his windows so we could see all the tabs.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Someone today was like,
Jimmy Farms open, and like 40 freaking just following all his Twitter haters too.
Oh, did you see the bragging about it?
Oh, it was so bad, dude. It was so bad.
I know. He's like, oh, I did see that clip today. Where he was like, oh, I know what it's like. You guys be best about someone that's smarter than you, you know. And he's like, oh fuck, I fucking talked all that shit,
dude.
Like that's the thing I love about that is you could tell when Ethan tries it when he puffs out those titties, when he tries to act like he's got something there that's not just a receding hairline and a massive fucking gunt. Like he always tries to act hardcore. He always does. And then he just fails miserably. Like I saw a GIF from like the end of the show where he's like, like come at me, bitch, or something like that. like, like I saw that last night. I was going to bed and I'm like, I got home and I was kind of avoiding. I wanted to watch The Boys, you know, because I had come out, and I'm like, oh, I'm just not gonna. I did actually try to join Ralph's chat, by the way, because I was sent the link for that, and I did try to log in, but I was too late because I wonder if he would have seen my email if he would have let me come on.
No, I doubt it.
I doubt it. I doubt he would have. That would have been funnier than shit. I would have laughed my ass off.
He needs you as like a boogeyman that they can attack. And I guess the minute that y'all two actually met and you destroyed him, it would just completely break the illusion, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he'd lose his last legs.
Well, it's like he calls me and he's like, oh, you wouldn't know what it's like to be a father. like, oh no, I do. I mean, like, you know, like I just that conversation cracked me up because I would have kept going on that conversation, right? Like I was about ready to pull in my driveway. I just would have like sat in my car and like yelled at him for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean he abandoned his kids. Like he's not a dad.
Yeah. Wait. Ralph has kids?
Well, wasn't he like playing stepdad for a little bit? I think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
That's his girlfriend. Oh,
Oh no,
I don't remember anymore.
that's well, no wait. Is that hold on? Was that his current girlfriend or his previous wife?
No. I think one of the like he thoughts I think or some crap that he was dating like a while ago had like kids. If I'm not mistaken.
God, how bad would that be? Like I
have no idea.
I mean, as far as like as much as I want to see like his entire existence implode into a fireball of Maker's Mark, I think it'd be really funny to just sit there from like an anthropological perspective, like just kind of sit in the bushes and like view from a distance through binoculars Ethan trying to interact with children. It would be the most awkward thing in the world. He would sit there and he'd hand one a bottle and he'd have his bottle and they'd be able to enjoy those moments together where, you know, the child's drinking water and Ethan's drinking liquor. And just like, could you imagine him with like a wife beater out there trying to fucking barbecue? Like, come on, little chitlin. Like, it would just be look, Ralph is lazy. All right. Like he's lazy.
Yeah, he's also dying. Apparently, he's losing 5 pounds according to him in 1 week, and people are saying that's due to anxiety. I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay, you can lose that kind of weight for a couple different reasons. One, it most likely would be water weight, which would probably happen if like he started like doing like maybe like intermittent fasting and I don't even want to say working out, maybe working out because you do lose weight really quick. But let's be real.
Yeah, but he isn't. He's an alcoholic. Yeah.
He's an alcoholic. Yeah. He's like, I lost 5 pounds this week. Like, did you finally lose that foot to diabetes? Like, is that where we are now? I mean, like, dude, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm on metformin, motherfucker. That shit keeps me chugging along, you know? And it's like, it's fucking so stupid. Like, look, man, gyms are pretty much closed. It's hot where you are. You won't even go mow your fucking lawn. You want to lose 5 pounds? Grab a fucking lawnmower. Walk around. You know what?
Yeah, no, he's not. And people are saying it's either alcoholism, like maybe this is like the first signs of something medical, or he's not eating because of anxiety, you know? Because like for a guy like him who's so goddamn lazy, it has to be something like medically bad, you know? If it's true, if he is losing the weight, which I don't know.
I don't think he's losing the weight, man. Like it's hard. It's difficult to, you know, for someone like him to lose that kind of weight. 5 pounds in a week, please. You know,
yeah, no.
Did he figure that's how much hair he lost? Is like 5 pounds worth?
It might be a thing like on The Simpsons where he has his gut just hanging over the towel rack. You just gotta push it along.
What is this? Hold on here. What did I got Lord Humongous says bow to the master of blood spores for face utter destruction jar. Look, the way I view it is like this. It's like if he wants to get better, what he's got to do is take a break from his show. That's the truth of the matter. He's got to log off of social media and he's got to fucking be out there. Like, you know what? Like, be with Faith. Go take an actual fucking vacation. But if you think he can't stay off the internet, like he just can't do it. And, you know, and I get it, man. I do. I understand it. Like, my job is the internet, so I'm on it all the time. And like today I took my kids, we went to a park that's a couple blocks away. We walked up there and I wasn't on my phone for like about an hour and a half. And it was nice because I took my daughter, we put her on the swing. We were doing that for a while and just chilling, you know, having a good time, just like not worrying about the internet. That's the kind of mental break you fucking need. And the thing is, like, no, Ralph, go look at his Twitter feed. He's always online.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, no, he was like
this
in those
is his
tabs,
life.
Yeah, like on the like when he leaked his desktop accidentally, he had like 40 freaking tabs open, and a good chunk of them are all Twitter links.
Yeah, I thought that's, and the thing is, the funny thing about that too is when I saw that, what cracks me up now is a lot of these online people that do online news coverage, they just read Twitter.
Yeah.
They just read Twitter, and like I'm not saying I'm guilty of it too, shit. But it's like I try to look at the article. They literally just go, they read like the headline, or like they find some video clip that somebody else put out there, so they don't actually have to go and clip it themselves and build up their own shit. So it's that notion, it's that thing I notice quite a bit. It just makes me chuckle, because these guys are like, they're lazy, and Ralph's, like he can't figure out his own even fucking. Like, this is what I don't get. This is what I don't get about his OBS, man. There's a fucking lock button. You can lock the layers, so you don't do that shit. Like, he broke his own thing because he's just a moron and doesn't understand anything. You know why?
Because you can see him calling Gator too, like, or whoever the hell's his tech support is, like, over the phone every time he breaks something. like he's too dumb to figure it out.
Why don't you? Yeah, like, you do this 5 nights a week, and you need to have a fucking an unpaid intern from Tennessee who mimics Mr. Medicare and looks like the kind of guy that only would find love off Craigslist.
I'm not sure. Is Gator a positive or a negative in his life?
It's a positive. I would argue. No. I would argue. No, I'm gonna very much take the positive approach here. Now, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's positive, because Gator is like that au pair that Ralph needs. He's like that French nanny that keeps him on track. That's what he needs.
He keeps the show running.
Well, I've heard the term Janie's be used a lot this year, and he is really damn good at it.
Yeah, he's a Janie. He's a Janie.
I don't know how you could clean up after all the shit that Ralph does, but I think he does too good of a job, because Ralph, like, he still thinks he's winning no matter what. There's no like self-reflection.
Well, he has to.
Like,
but that's a Dick Masterson tactic. So you have to look at it. Okay, Ralph emulates the male role models in his life. Okay, like he does. I've talked about this multiple times, but it's true. When he was underneath Milo, and he was for a while, he was Milo's attack dog. Whoever Milo pointed at, Ralph would attack, either via Twitter or on his website. If you pissed off Milo, Ralph went after you, because that was the way it worked out. Then after that whole thing went down, he went after Jim. And then he wanted Jim to be his role model. So then he started doing more of like the Jim style stuff. Even Janny Shanny, right? Shannon the Gator, fucking, even he models his talking after Jim, so that they look up to him. And now he's doing Dick. So whatever Dick tells him to do, Ralph will do. Go on camera, buy the same Fernie pads to put up in the back, the studio, try to be more centrist, try to be funny, but the only way Ralph can ever chortle a laugh is if he's drunk.
Well, he can't break the illusion, because the minute his like hardcore fan audience realizes that Ralph is actually a loser, he loses the money too. So he has to. That's why Gator sweeps up so good, because the minute that he stops janning it up, like his audience will like break the illusion.
I guess so. It's just one of those things where you talk about him going out and he's unplugged from the internet. He can't because he thinks he's happy here, because he thinks he's winning. He feels like he's invincible here. Why would he want to leave?
Yeah,
I don't think he's invincible. I think he knows that he can be taken down. His attitude is the exact. It's the person who is trying to claim, no, I am untouchable. Right?
No, I think Gator makes him think that he's invincible.
No, he's not that dumb. Ralph, the thing is I say the same thing about Ralph that I say about Anita Sarkeesian, and that is respect them for the villain that they are. And what I mean by that is that Ralph is not unintelligent. This is where we run into these situations here. Ralph is not unintelligent. He knows how to get a certain reaction out of certain people, and he's desperate to get that to work for him. So if you want to get Ralph, You have to know how to play his own game. You have to strike at something with him that triggers him. Because if you come at him with basic platitudes, you're alt-right, you're a Nazi, you're fat, whatever, all that shit runs off of him like water on a turtle's back. It does. Because it doesn't mean anything. He's been dealing with those attacks for a long time. He can deflect. But if you get at him, if you treat him like he's like the fucking human version of the Death Star, and let's be fair, he's fat enough to be, and you got to find that fucking exhaust port, and you got to fire those torpedoes. Because if you can get that exhaust port and you hit him in the right target, he'll crumble. You know, when he calls me up and he starts bitching and moaning about the whole thing, and I go, "Oh, your dad's dead," it threw him off his game. He didn't know how to respond. So then he just tries, you know, bringing up more shit, lasts another minute and a half, and then he hangs up because he's got nothing. That's how you get Ralph. It's a wear down process, but what does it the most, really, as I think the fucking farms are doing a great job.
Just trolling him.
They're just constantly trolling him. They're poking and they're prodding.
All you have to do.
But they're doing it on the right thing. The fucking faith thing is a big deal. The sex tape thing is a big deal. His you know, his physical imperfections is a fucking deal to him. Like, you can call him fat, but it's like, that's very easy to deflect. But if you focus on, like, when P.O. brings up that enhanced view of his face, which is disgusting,
Yes.
by the way, P.O., you son of a bitch. But that right there, he's analyzing his facial expressions. He's looking at him. He's got him under this microscope, and Ralph is aware of that. And so Ralph becomes very aware of that. He's so cognizant of it that it starts to throw him off. And everyone coming at him from different ways is one of the things that's doing it. But the reason why he won't come after someone who actually, you know, who he'll take the shit from the outside, but he won't actively engage in a meaningful way with someone who could actually hurt him, because he knows that it will destroy him. That's why he has said publicly, "I have zero interest in talking to you on a stream solo." He has said that about me. He has zero interest talking to me solo on a stream.
That's most of them. That's IBS. It's
It
like,
is. Oh, it is.
Cowards.
It absolutely
they all
is.
have to have their whole crew around them. They'll have to be on their show where they can control the mic volumes, and that's IBS. It's what it's become.
Yeah, it's just funny to me. It's just really funny. It's like, you know, I like I said, I spent 2 years not saying anything about this shit, really. And then just as soon as I started pushing back, they all crumbled. They have to keep bringing me up on their show because they're hoping that they're gonna, like, you know, they just want to go back and relive the glory days, right? Like, they just want to go back and think, "Oh, we got him, ladies and gentlemen, we got him." Like, no, yeah, whatever, I fucked up. Okay, cool. What else you got?
Well, something we've been doing has been targeting Ralph's like show itself. Like, we've been notifying the guests that he, you know, bring on occasionally of what he's really like.
See, I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, no. Like, I don't want to say me specifically. You know, I don't want to. We've been like, really hitting him where it hurts. You know, like Bill told Rex, who told that one fucking thought that he brought on like a couple of.
Oh yeah, the Chrissy Mayer, right? Yeah, what's funny is I've come across people who have said something along the lines of oh Matt, you got to get on there and talk to Chrissy Mayer, man. Like, you got to get on her show or have her come on your show. Like, I don't know what I would, you know, what would I say to Chrissy Mayer? Like, I have no idea.
She canceled on him. She was supposed to come on and debate somebody, but after we all like dogpile, like, "Hey, look at the gun tape, look at the guy you're talking to," she canceled. Right? He doesn't want to admit that he's actually lost.
One of the haters that we were talking about yesterday. Then
he also
the funniest takes on that yesterday.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Because he was going on about how, like, all these haters keep coming at us, but we keep winning, and he actually compared Ralph to DSP. Like, you can't kill us with like DSP. I don't know how he said it, but he actually compared Ralph to DSP. I'm just like, oh fuck. I don't think he meant to do that, but
yeah, DSP, the same guy that offended cuties. Well, what a brilliant take.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, fucking. What was it? Ralph lost over 40 patrons in August, as I saw the other day.
Yeah.
So he lost
conditioning.
Yeah, you know, it's like, hey, what do you know? People don't like it when you do shitty things. I lost a bunch of patrons after my shit. I'm very thankful for the ones that I still have, and you know, and like I just thought, yeah, I thought it was funny. He lost like 42. It's like, how many? You know, new Project 2 is dead. So he's like, I think he's got Subscribe Star or some shit like that, but that's whatever. Like those guys aren't going to fucking budge. But all you have to do is just get him saying like, like I will tell you this. I think after the Vosh incident, when he started calling Bosch the N-word and all that stuff, saying worse things than Sargon of Akkad, got booted off Patreon for. I have a feeling that when people went after his Patreon, that like Dick stepped up and said something to those guys. I really do. I think he went to bat for him to keep it.
Yeah, no, there are more like other IRL angles of attack that people have that they could go for, like his financial stability. But I think that's taken a little bit too far. I know they tried getting you fired. They tried calling in like everywhere, trying to get you kicked off of Uber Eats and all that. But
yeah,
like personally, me, like I would not troll him like that because I feel like that's just myself opening me up to like a, karma in some form. I feel bad about that.
Yeah, well, it's like people said to me, like one of the things they said to me was like, "Oh, you cost people money," and I'm like, "No, I never did actually. Like I flagged people, sure, but like nothing went down. Doesn't disregard what happened. I just want to make that abundantly clear." But no one went down, meaning no one lost any fucking money.
Yeah,
so
but they tried getting you fired.
Yeah, they tried getting me fired and whatever, and I'm pretty sure people have contacted the Census Bureau to say something as well. But it's
they most certainly have.
Let me tell you like this. My boss calls me yesterday, and he's all like, "How do you want to?" He's like, "How would you like to be on my strike force?" And I'm like, okay, what's the strike force?" And he's all like, "Well, looking at your numbers here, you're really persistent, and we like that. We're going to need to go and get the harder cases, and I need people I can trust to go out and do some detective work." And I'm like Batman? And he's like, "Not like Batman." And he'd like to go out and find these locations. He's like, "How would you feel about that?" And I'm like, literally, this is true. I was at this guy's like mobile home, and I told him like, "Well, right now I'm looking at a sign that says trespassers will be shot, and there is someone in the next yard over actually firing off guns. So yeah, this could be fun."
Yeah, the register, right? And they're like, "Okay, look, we got to pick the one guy who's not afraid to talk to crazy rednecks and meth heads." And they it was you.
Yeah. Like, how do you know how to do all these things? Or where'd you get all these wonderful toys? Internet. Like, fucking. I just think it's really funny. It's like fucking, I know a cat here is like strike force. That's what he literally said. He called it a strike force. And I'm all like, don't play my ego, dude. Like, am I going to get like an extra badge? Am I going to be able to roll up like in a fucking like, 3-piece suit and just be all like, "The name's Jarbo, Matthew Jarbo, here with the United States Census Bureau. We're the Men in Black," or something like? How far could I take this? Because I had a couple of dudes yesterday come at me, right? Like I knocked on this door. I was wearing sunglasses and I couldn't see into the house very well. And so I knocked on the door and this woman finally came down and she ignored me. So I didn't know if she heard me or not. So I knocked again and she made some motion, but I didn't know what it was. I couldn't see it and she didn't say anything to me. So I'm just kind of waiting. And I look over and there's like this next property and like these two big dudes come out, right? And they're just looking at me and they're looking at me for like 5 minutes. And I'm just like, I finally at one point just put my hands and go, "Hi, how's it going?" And they start walking over and they're like, "What do you want?" And I'm all like, "I'm with the Census Bureau." And they're like, "Well, she doesn't want to talk to you." And I'm all like, "Well, she hasn't told me that. So I have no idea. And I don't know who the hell you guys are." And they kept coming towards me. And I'm all like, fuck. If
you knock on 100 trailers, they give you the golden clipboard, employee of the month.
Yeah. I think I've done about 100 now in like the last week and a half.
100 trailers.
I've done. It's not so much. I went to like this rich area the other day. That was pretty nice. I went to this dude's house last night, literally on top of a mountain. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea. I thought I was going out to like another meth den. And I'm driving through what were meth dens, and I go up to this. It's like dusk, like the sun's setting. It's hard to see, so I pull up to this like one of the nicest houses I've come across, and it's just on top of this mountain. And I'm like, and I knock on the door, and the guy answers, and he's got a Wynn Casino robe on, and I'm all like, "You got fucking money, sir." Like I didn't say it, but he was a cool guy. But it's like you go to some of these places you don't fully expect. Right. And there's a lot of Microsoft money where I live. So I'm thinking like, I could walk up to someone who like I recognize from Microsoft or something and be like, "Hey, I know you. Give me a job."
Nah, that's dope, dude. But like I work at a hospital in the ER and I'm telling you, meth heads, I would like if you just see someone, you can tell when like someone's on drugs. Like, don't even bother, dude. Like, it's not worth your safety, man. Like, they attack us, they attack the cops that bring them in. It's bad.
Well, the thing is, like, these guys weren't meth heads. The guys that were coming at me, they were like the farmer types, you know, because I'm in like this neighborhood, and it's further south from the city, so it's kind of recessed, and it's a nice neighborhood. Thankfully, I had another house up the street, and I was able to then complete that house with a proxy. So I was able to go and get the information from another woman. And what's great was the other woman, I told her what had just happened, and she's like, "Really? Man, that lady, she's got to nut up, I swear." You know, like, and she just starts going off on the lady down the road about her being basically like a pansy. Like,
two Karens fighting.
You know, it was funny as shit. I'm like, all right, you know, and this woman was like, she had just lost like her partner of a very long time, like last week. So she was not in the best of moods, but I think like talking shit about the neighbor made her feel better. So I feel like I did my part for the healing process. You know, like, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what I thought about doing. Like, I think it'd be fun to be a process server. Like, after doing this, like, being a process server would be a lot of fun. But I would probably die. I think at this point I could also say that too, because it's like, you know, getting the court orders and then having to track the people down like Batman, and then going in like, "Are you this person? Yeah, you've been served, bitch," and then walking away.
Yeah, no, you'll most certainly get shot at. Like, because I'm currently in university, finished up my bachelor's for politics and law. Like, I don't want to dox myself, right? But my professors, you know, they've been guys who work for like the parole board, people like that. They used to make them not be armed when like being a caseworker or dealing with people that just got out of jail. But it got to the point where they had to arm them because too many of them kept getting shot at.
Yeah, that's the thing with being the census worker is like, you know, just because there's rumors going around on Facebook in this area that people are impersonating census employees in order to case houses to rob them. Like, that's going around right now. So not only do we have like the COVID pandemic, the paranoia from that, because I wear a mask. If I don't wear a mask, I get fired, right? So I wear a mask when I go up to someone's house. So you have a guy with sunglasses because it's the daytime and it's bright, and fucking you know, a mask on. Thankfully, it's my Ninja Turtles mask, so like it kind of breaks the ice a little bit. And I actually get a lot of people that compliment the mask, and that's why they talk to me. So they feel like I'm non-threatening, but like there are other people that are like very much in this world of, holy shit, you know, you're probably here to rob me. And I'm just there to ask them like 6 questions and be on with my fucking day. You know,
if they see you with the clipboard and they're thinking, okay, this guy, he's either like a salesman or he's a Democrat, and they just close the door on you.
Yeah, there's been some I've dealt with some Trump supporters and then also some Bernie supporters and whatnot. I had a guy though, man, I felt really bad about this because I didn't know how to respond, so I just didn't respond. But like, I went to this dude's house and I knocked on he was 90, well, he was older. He was older. I don't want to give all of his information. I can't give any of his information. He was older. And like he peed himself while we were talking. You know?
Was he old?
Yeah, he was old. He was real old.
Damn.
And like, you know, he didn't know that he peed himself while we were talking. And then his house smelled.
Incontinence. Yeah.
Like it just smelled. So I'm sitting there for like a few minutes, and he wanted to talk to me about like his personal life. And I'm like sitting there trying to like breathe. Like, thankfully like he couldn't see like my facial reaction under the mask and sunglasses, thankfully. You know, like it was like, oh my goodness, man. Like, you know, I felt bad for the guy because he was like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, I'm like, oh my, because he was like, they're gonna take me and put me someplace, and I'm like, you know. So I don't know. I don't want to give up the guy's information, nothing like that. He was older, and everything, and it's just like, you know, that's the kind of thing you see sometimes. Like, you know, people, you get a lot of these stories out of people, and it's interesting.
Can I tell one?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so this is actually a colossal fuck up on the behalf of my hospital, right, and the nurses that were working in the ER. Now, I was with the admissions clerk at the time, and the nurses told us to kind of look after this one guy who was he had like severe autism. He was like Chris Chan, right? and he was there in the ER. Now this guy, I shit you not, he got hooked on meth because this is like a country hospital, right? Like in the boonies, really. And it's the whole situation is really sad. Basically, these dealers were coaxing this guy into taking money from his mom, right? Who was kind of like elderly, and so he could buy meth. Well, he had to go into the ER because he was having like a mental episode, right? And he was just sitting there in the lobby, and me and my clerk guy were just watching him, right? Because we were told, hey, you have to keep an eye on him. The EMS is going to swing by and they're going to drop him off back to his house because he's not he doesn't have his full faculties. Like, just with him even being sober, like he was just that far on the spectrum. And we took our eyes off him for 1 minute because we were both dipping at the time. And I went to get a dip can. I couldn't find it. He's like, oh, it's in the backpack. Let me go get it, right? So we come back into the lobby and this guy's fucking gone. We ran all over the hospital trying to find him. Like, we physically, me and my coworkers split up, ran like a full 360 around it. We couldn't find him. And he'd been bitching about getting chicken nuggets the entire time because the hospital is just like right down the street from McDonald's, right? And we couldn't find him. So we freaked the fuck out. We tell the nurses, like, hey, we lost this guy. And they're like, why, you lost him? And they're getting mad at us. And we're like, look, dude, that's not even our responsibility. That's y'all's responsibility. They could have gotten fired. We could have gotten fired. And as we were arguing, we hear over the little radio thing, like dispatch radio that every ER has, about a break-in at the McDonald's up the road. And we're like, holy fuck, this guy. And we checked it out. Surely enough, this Chris Chan type guy who's just, being taken advantage of by drug dealers, having a mental episode, got arrested because we fucking took our eyes off him. And that was some real shit. It just kind of reminded me of that. You see people like that. Like in your census job, like that old man that pissed himself. It just kind of reminded me of that. There are people like that out there in the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of there's a lot of crazies out there. A lot of weird people, and different situations. And I mean, and the internet, like, I think exemplifies a lot of them. A lot of people that just end up in these. They have a computer and a fucking webcam or a microphone, and then they just that's their connection. And then the rest of us are trying to understand them, and it just ends up not being necessarily a good thing. But
yeah.
On that note, guys, I do want to wrap this thing up because it's been 2 hours, and I have got to get to bed. I got a long day of enumerating tomorrow. Strike Force. So I appreciate everyone coming on by. I might have to go later in the day. I've noticed I have better success with people calling in if I go later in the day. I think people were watching like the fucking whatever the kill stream or PO stream or some shit like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. A couple of times it was like, I'm only going to be on here for like an hour. I'm like, I'm just not going to bother trying to call in then.
Yeah, it's just an hour is not much. I got to give it more of a prep and whatever. It's like, it is what I mean. 2 hours is more doable than not.
Yeah, it's whatever you can actually do is probably for whatever. But I just didn't want to bother you a lot of those times. So
no, it's all good. The whole point is for people to bother. If it's just like if it's one person, like we had the woman earlier, and the mystic with lipstick. She was very nice. And she called in, we talked, but like no one else is coming in. And then I brought up the phone number and like no one called in. I'm like, all right, well, so it's like, you never really know. I'm trying to figure out if I can do if I can get Discord to work through this thing. I might be able to bring up the Discord page like through Chrome, the actual web browser, and then just go in there and have people come on in. Could be a thing as well. So it's something. But all right, everyone. Thank you guys for coming on in, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, later, man.